Hi, Ann Guion here. Welcome to a new episode of Tell Me More About dot dot dot. And today we're going to be talking about sign-in bonuses, whether or not that is a red flag for looking for a new position. And for those of us who've been around for a long time, a sign-in bonus probably would have been considered a red flag for most positions prior to the spring of this year or the summer. And why am I saying that? Well, because for decades, the job market in dental hygiene has been absolutely saturated. So if there was any kind of a sign in bonus, it might have been for a practice that you simply we couldn't be comfortable with. Or maybe it was in such a remote location where the community wasn't it didn't fit with your family plans or your lifestyle or whatever. And I'm not bashing rural communities by any stretch of the imagination, but I've never really seen a sign in bonus for great jobs in the dental hygiene market for decades. In fact, I just can't really even remember them. So let's move on and explore why is this going on. Well, the job market is flipped with COVID-19, yeah, the job market is flipped. And what's going on? I'm going to pop off right here and we're going to get into a discussion of what's going on, what I see the trends are, and what I would like you to be really careful in considering if you're going to take a job that has a sign on bonus. So let me scoot. And what's happened? Well, there are a lot of hygienists who've been around for a long time and maybe they wanted to practice another year or two, but they've simply chosen to take early retirement. Some clinicians and of all ages and persuasions are really worried about contracting the virus, and I think that's a very real concern for people. Others are trying to juggle homeschooling and working, and it just didn't work out. And can you imagine? Look at the look on that lady's face and their little kid. Kids are getting zoomed out. This is one of the hardest times I've ever seen for people in our professional community. And what about people who have underlying health risks? They they're more at risk for their own health, or maybe they have a family member who's at risk, a husband or a mom who lives with them. So, and also I am noticing a level of emotional fatigue within the dental community that I've never seen before. So this is hitting the dental hygiene community and the dental assistant community, and all of a sudden, instead of having an overly saturated job market, it's flipped. It's entirely different now. So let's take a closer look at what's going on. If you have an opportunity to consider a sign on bonus, should you even take it? So let's dial this back. Now, I know everybody was really worried about money. You had time off and you weren't making money, or your things just went crazy. And maybe the sign on bonus is $1,000 to $2,000. Just let's pretend. Well, depending on where you live, what is the real dollar value? Now, $1,000 to $2,000 if you are accepting a job in West Virginia, that's going to take you far. But $1,000 to $2,000 sign on bonus, and you're going to take a job anywhere in a metropolitan area in California, let's say Orange County or San Francisco. Well, that's not going to take you very far. That might be 3 or 4 days worth of pay. So just think seriously about that sign on bonus means for the market you're considering. Then, if you are offered a sign on bonus, read the fine print. And I know that sounds really obvious, but do you ever have to pay it back? Is there a certain amount of time that you have to stay to earn that? And oh, by the way, one of my favorite subjects is who is going to pay the taxes on this? Would this be considered an independent contractor type of income, or would it be considered employee income? I think you really have to look at the contract you're being offered. I would not take it from the standpoint of a verbal Well, this is what they promised me. So, and other things to be thinking about, what if you don't like the terms? Well, nobody says you have to take a sign on bonus. What if you change your mind? Well, you better have read all the fine print. And what if maybe you've gone in and you've said, oh, I'll consider this, but I'd like to have a couple of days or a trial period, and you get some kind of whiff of, that the culture is just not compatible with your personal idea of how you want to practice. Well, you better be thinking about all these what ifs, because if you've signed a legal contract, there someone can easily come back to you. So I would encourage you, if you're considering a sign-on bonus or any kind of contract at all dealing with employment, to consult an attorney or someone who has strong background in human resources. You need to know what you're getting into, because I can tell you for certain that in your education, in the academic world, there wasn't much training about the business end of dental hygiene. And the business end means that you got to be looking for what's good and for you on the end of the contract as well as the employer. So be smart. It's only money. If it's $1,000 and that represents 3 days worth of pay because you're going to be living in Palo Alto, California, well, it's only money. So some other things you need to be looking for maybe is understanding the schedule. Are you going to be seeing a patient every 30 minutes? Oh gosh, I hope not. And would it be a double column schedule? That's crazy. And will you be considered an employee, not a 1099 worker? We'll go into that in some other episodes. But I also encourage you to be smart enough to not burn bridges. So don't agree to something that you don't know what it's all about. So, what if you decide that that schedule or that sign on bonus is exactly what you want? And oh, by the way, the schedule is what you want. You get an hour and you've got an assistant, or you've got all these wonderful vacuum suction machines and everything you could ever want. Well, maybe it's really worth looking at. And yay, if it's the right move. Hallelujah. So I hope this has been some valuable information to think about this. Yes, money is important, but also money kind of tends to make things crazy and people don't stop and really think through at times what they're getting into. So I want to thank you for your time and attention. I hope that this is giving you something to ponder and think about, because I want all of you to have happy, healthy, successful, rewarding careers. I know I had a fabulous time in my own clinical career. Well, not always fabulous, but for the most part, yes. And I'd like you to be able to enjoy the same. So that's it for now. Thank you for your time and attention, and we'll get together again.